Well, got the truck back. So what's the verdict on this episode of
The Clutch Trucker Channel.
Clutch Trucker, filmed before a live, furry, and oh-so-sweet studio audience. Yep, you know your lover. Joe can't live without her. It's Maple, the world-famous pancake dog. Hey YouTube, Clutch Trucker here. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Clutch Trucker Channel. Using my headset, so I'm hearing myself talk back, and it's a delay, so it makes me speak very slowly. Anyway, yeah, just wanted to do a quick update here. There, I can not hear myself as much that way. Yeah, we're in Sioux City, Iowa, and we're just making our way on the Highway 20 East. Been driving for about 4.5 hours. 4.5 hours of actual driving so far. But, yeah, they got me done today, and so about 11 o'clock, and I hadn't heard anything. I called them, well, first I took Maple out, and then I saw they had moved my truck to the south side of the building, where I could see it from the motel. And so I called them, and I said, okay, what's going on? And they said, well, it's done. We're just finalizing the invoice and blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay, sounds good. I said, I'll be over there in a little bit to get you guys paid so I can get moving on.
4A on the right to US 20 East.
And let's see, well, do I need to stay in this lane or, yeah, probably. I'm going climbing a hill here. Anyway, so, yeah, went over, got it paid. Somebody did anonymously, well, kind of anonymously, call into them yesterday and make a payment on my bill of $150. So, I don't know, I wrote the name down, so I'll mention that a little bit later on in the video. But thank you, whoever did that. That was a big plus. The guy who bought my Coronado, he sent me over the weekend $500 to help out in this. I thought that was just really, really super nice. See, you know, there aren't people in the world who still do nice things. So that's great. John Hallgren, one of my longtime subscribers, gave me $40 while I was sitting there, you know, just waiting. And I know it was. He said, "Well, here's just something, a little something to help you not get so depressed about everything." So, thank you all to everyone who did that. But they got it done today. You know, they just want to do some final checks and everything, and I get that. I'd rather make sure it's good. So then I went and got it till around 11:30. Then I had to do a pre-trip, get the, sorry, the sun's shooting into us here. Get the E-log set back up, do a pre-trip. I had to put some fuel on a little bit right away, and then I drove back to the motel and then had to now transfer everything from the motel back into the truck and then put everything away, and everything has got to be, it's got its place in here. So that takes a little while, but we got that all done. Got Maple back in here. She's very happy to be back in the truck, so that's good. And yeah, then we had to drive back west to Chamberlain, South Dakota, to go pick up my trailer. It was at A&R Towing. Is this our exit? No, not this one. Because that's where they had towed it off the ramp a week ago Saturday. That's how long this has all been. And then they had it at their yard. So I went and picked that up and called them and said, hey, I'm picking up the trailer, just so you know. And they said, okay. I stopped and got some lunch at a Dairy Queen that was at the same exit, and then got rolling. And we've been driving. I had to stop a couple more times to get fuel. I had just put on enough in Kimball to get me till I could fuel up in Hartford, South Dakota. Well, actually, I just got the DEF there. And then I went to the Quick Star in Sioux Falls and got the diesel there. The coffee cup fuel stops, the one in Hartford, it's only $2.99. It's the cheapest DEF I've ever seen anywhere in the country. And anytime I'm in South Dakota, I fuel up at the coffee cup fuel stops. Yeah, we got some construction or something going on the ramp up here, so let's make sure we're watching what's going on. Well, it might just be a car broken down. So, probably not the best time to do this video with the sun coming in, but yeah, A little pickup broken down there, a little Toyota. But you can see, yeah, lights are green. CT lights are green. So it's been doing great all day. I was cautious at first, and I've been not pushing it very hard or anything because after a transmission change out like that, you don't want to push your transmission too hard. Luckily, this load of kitty litter is a little lighter than they usually are. They had to cut a couple of pallets because they didn't have the product ready. So normally, where these kitty litter loads are 38 to 42,000 pounds, this one is only right about 29,000 pounds. So then that's good because we're not having to push the transmission too hard, but it has been doing great so far. So I just thought I'd do a update and say, yeah, so far it's looking pretty good.
Well, yeah, as you can see, it seems to be doing pretty good. And so the fact that we're going to drive almost 300 miles today and we haven't really had any issues, I think that's a really good sign. Normally on any kind of a major repair like this, you're going to find out pretty quick if something's not doing what it's supposed to do and your thing falls out or whatever. So I'd say, almost 300 miles, I'd say is pretty good. It was shifting just like it's supposed to. Never heard any slipping or never felt any slipping or anything. I kept watching the RPMs a lot. And all seems to be well. Hence the green lights. So we're back to green, baby. And hopefully we'll stay that way for a while. Because, boy, when I spent, $2,500 just, a week or so before down in San Angelo, Texas, for the whole single SAM unit. And I just done an oil change, and we just did new drive tires and new shocks. Yeah, we're bleeding money pretty badly right now. And because of that, I do need to thank some people. Okay, somebody who I guess had been watching and was trying to help me out, and I really appreciate it. Looks like Steve Garamo from Minnesota. He called in yesterday to the shop and made a $150 payment on my bill. Very, very cool. Thank you, Steve. Really appreciate that. As I said earlier, Andrew, the guy who bought my Coronado, he gave me $500. John Hallgren gave me $40. And then also a very long time subscriber who's been a huge part of my channel and everything, did, like I say, give me a very, very generous loan at a very, very low percentage rate. And as far as that part, he wants to remain anonymous, so, and can you blame him? So, I'm sure those of you are curious the total bill, because my estimate was initially $631.53, as I said in the last video. It burned into my brain. Okay, so the transmission oil actually ended up costing a little bit more, and they didn't have it, so they had to get that. That stuff's like over $100 a gallon, and it uses about 5 to 6 gallons of that. So that raised it up a little bit, but then Steve, who put $150 directly to my bill, that was nice. And since I did drive to Sioux Falls for Dan at Overweg on Thursday and picked up a windshield for a truck that got wrecked, and I picked up the driver at the airport in Sioux Falls to bring him back so he could pick up that truck, he did pay me $100 for that. So all worked out pretty well. So overall, my total bill after Steve put his money on this was $19,438.54. Okay, for this whole job. Their labor rates, by the way, at Overweg are $150 an hour. If you had this done at a Freightliner, most Freightliner dealers now are $200 plus per hour. So very reasonable. As I said in the last video, I'm in a small town. Sales taxes are lower, so that was a big help. So that's where we were at. We were able to pay for a lot of it on our, like I said in the last video, home equity line of credit, HELOC. I had to put the rest on a credit card, but I'm going to be able to pay that down within a few days once my loan from a special subscriber comes in. So we won't have to pay credit card interest rate on that. So that's all a huge help. And because of everybody watching these last few videos, that has helped the channel this month. So that alone might cover most of my motel bill, which came to $553 plus tax for 7 nights, and with tax it was like $605 and some change. So that's what I had to spend. So thank you again, Andrew. Huge thanks, John Hallgren, Steve. Thank you so much for doing that. And then, like I say, our mystery loaner is a huge help on this, so that we actually have a couple grand left on our HELOC for the next big emergency. So that's where we stand, and at least we're back on the road after 10 days. Because you got to remember, I spent 7 nights in the motel, but then I also spent 3 nights, Saturday, Sunday, Monday night, at the Vets Woe and Go in Chamberlain, South Dakota, still in the truck. Truck wasn't moving, but I stayed there, and they came and got me on Tuesday. And then I got in the truck, I had to connect the e-log again, do a pre-trip, and I had to immediately put some fuel on because I remember I idled for like 3 days. And so I did that, rolled back over to the motel, and it took me over an hour at least to get everything from the motel, loaded back into the truck, and put away and all that. Everything has to be in its space. So that took a little while, plus I wanted to make sure I cleaned out the motel really nicely, because he gave me, I think, a very fair deal on the rate there. And also wanted to double check, make sure I wasn't forgetting anything. Kind of like in The Sure Thing, where she's running around opening the drawers 5 times. Don't rush me, don't rush me. So, yeah, then we finally got on the road, and we, of course, had to go back west to Chamberlain to pick up the trailer, which, if you remember, got towed on Saturday morning by A&R there in Chamberlain, South Dakota, and had been sitting on their lot ever since. And so I picked that up, called them, and said, hey, we got it. And then we got on the road, and you saw in the video earlier as we're driving, I described some of that, and here we are. I'm parking out tonight at the TA Express in Holstein, Iowa, off Highway 20. We've got about another 6 hours to drive tomorrow to get down to I'm going to stay at the Sapp Brothers in Peru, Illinois, down there on I-80 tomorrow night, and that'll put me only about 4 miles away from our delivery, finally, 10 days late, or 11 days late, I don't know, it's ridiculous at this point, there at the Walmart Distribution Center in Spring Valley, Illinois. And I tell you, it's so great to be back here at home, in my truck home. Because remember, I live in this thing. I get to go through the house every now and then and maybe spend a few hours there, sometimes an overnight. But for the most part, I live in this truck. And so, yeah, luckily I was able to save all the food going into the motel and save it coming back, because I did turn the inverter on last night. I walked over there and just turned that on. But, I remember I live in here, and if you are newer to my channel, and you don't know all the changes I've done in here, I'll give you a real quick view. To make it more livable in here, yeah, I put in a cassette toilet. It's backed up against the passenger door. We got rid of the passenger seat. So it's really easy to empty the black tank on the cassette toilet. It just pulls out, it's self-contained, has wheels on it, and you can roll it into a truck stop. Haven't had a chance to finish my little cover of the water pump there, but the cassette toilet is fed by a fresh water system hidden in this cabinet here. And down there I've got a fresh tank and a gray tank from my sink, and right now I've got that kind of covered up, but there is a sink back here with a faucet, so I have fresh water and I can run things into the sink. So, that's all nice. I've got my bigger fridge and freezer, certainly much bigger than it comes in these trucks. Microwave. Got my toaster oven up there. It's also an air fryer. Up over in this cabinet, I've got my George Foreman grill. So we're all set there. And then, of course, I built this little shelf along the back for all my boxes of food and so forth that don't need to be refrigerated. And I did build that extra little cabinet up over here, and that's mainly for Maple's food and my cereal and some extra water and so forth. So yeah, I basically turned this into a mini house. So gotta give a lot of thanks to Dan at Overweg Repair. He's the one who owns the shop, and his techs did a great job, and obviously they did it right, because I haven't had any issues yet. So yeah, that's what I really like. And like I said, I pointed out earlier some reasons why they're great to go to, the cheaper labor rates, the cheaper city taxes and all that. And that's the kind of stuff that makes me happy.
And that's the sort of problem solving and ingenuity that really floats my bread, butters my fancy, tickles my boat.
So, hopefully this will be it for a while. We can only hope, right? Got to get back out there and earn the monies, and so I can bring it home to the fam. You know, it's the life of a trucker, life of an owner-operator, and hopefully we won't have any giant repairs for a while, because yeah, this one hurt. This one hurt bad. But thanks to everybody for watching and all your support and everything. To appreciate that. And you know, and of course somebody did have to put after one of my last videos, you're always complaining, and I just said, if you're going to be doing that, just stop typing. But you know, you can always get those kind of people. You know, I'm not always complaining. I many times I try to point out the positive, like I have in this video, even after paying damn near $20,000. You know, but obviously they don't watch all my videos. They just watch some. Hey, you're always complaining. And shut up. This is life. As I always say on this channel, I talk about what it's like to be an owner-operator. The good, the bad, the ugly, and sometimes it's ugly. Well, thanks for tuning in for that one. Yeah, just all of you have been watching, you know, this whole past week for the updates and everything. I thought we'd just have to throw something up here tonight once we actually got driving. So, you know, I think, oh, we need to switch that back to green, don't we? Yeah, let's go green, baby. Go green. I have to put this like right up here to get it to switch. There it goes. All right, we're all green. Yep, so there you go. So far so good. Hopefully that means it's good. Thanks for tuning in. Please subscribe, like, comment, share, and all that stuff. There's Clutch Trucker on Instagram, Clutch Trucker on Twitter X, Clutch Trucker 5 on TikTok, and as always, sniff that magic YouTube fairy dust. Clutch and Maple, out. You know, junk food doesn't deserve the bad rap it gets. I mean, take these pork rinds, for example. This particular brand has 2% of the RDA, that's recommended daily allowance, of riboflavin. All right, I'm pulling out the smartphones for you. Are you ready for one of those? Are you excited? I think that's a happy girl ready for her smartphone. Oh, she's jumping. Oh yeah, here you go, honey. There you go. Oh yes, all over her smartphone. She's loving it. Do-do-do-do-do. Oh yes, tearing that thing apart, baby. Tearing it apart. There's a happy girl. Oh, she just loves these things. Happy, happy girl. Yeah, we can call this the Maple Cam. The Maple Cam. All right, one little piece there. There you go. Finish that. Ooh, there's a little crumb still. You know, she'll check the floor. She's always good at that. All right, Maple. I saw a little crumb down there. Ooh, ooh. Yep, you got it. You got it. Think you're good, honey. Oh, yeah. There's the tail wagging. Happy girl. Let's get that happy girl look. Maple.